Hello there, YouTube world. This is Stever the Beaver with another installation of BookTube Beaver reviews from the Beaver Den, whatever you want to call it, featuring my bud Edie Spaghetti. He's back there too. He may make an appearance on occasion. Today, we're talking about Richard Bachman, Roadwork. What is Roadwork? Well, Roadwork is one of 7 books published by Stephen King under the pseudonym Richard Bachman. They have arguably a different writing style than many Stephen King books, but guess what? I might like them the most, with the exception of maybe Blaze. You're the star, my friend. Roadwork was published in 1981, but it takes place over a course of 3 months in 1973 and 74. What is it about? Well, let me tell you. Our main character, Mr. Bart Dawes, he's having a really bad time. He's having a really bad time because the highway is being extended. The freeway is building the 784 extension, not through just his house, but also his business. Bart is a laundryman by trade, and he has worked it for upwards of 20 years and has gained himself a pretty decent position. So he's faced with finding a new business location, and he's also faced with buying a new house so that his wife and him have a place to live. But you'll soon find out that Bart is not thinking with a sound mind about some of these things. He's very unhappy about the 784 extension, as a matter of fact. So how is Bart going to handle this? In one of the first scenes of this book, without too many spoilers, he walks into a gun shop and purchases some highly lethal weapons, in which you find out quickly that he's lying about some details, and he gets away with it. This is just an example of some of the things that our boy Bart is going to experience as he goes through this journey that he is on. Is he going to make the right decisions? I'll say so much as no. He's probably not, but that's okay. He's having a mental breakdown. He has a lot going on right now, and he's having internal monologue with Fred and George as well. So you can tell that this guy is not in the right state of mind. This one does not have Stephen King regular type of paranormal or strange happenings in the conventional sense, in the way that you might come to expect it looking at his other works. It is a story that could happen in real life, possibly, given the right circumstances. It's a little dated, being that it's about a time before I was born, but I can believe it, and that's what I like it. And Eddie likes it too. So you should give it a try. Okay, alright, so what are we talking about? Are we talking about spoilers? Alright, let's talk about what makes this book so good. I'm giving this book 5 out of 5 stars, which is pretty rare for me, I'm like a stickler on Goodreads. It's gotta be pretty good, and I give it 5 stars for a couple reasons. I think that the flow of this book, it kept things going very quickly, and you're like rooting for the bad guy, and he is a bad guy, you gotta love him. I like some of the King-isms in this book are really top tier, even though they're not, he slides them in on you, and they're there. I'm currently reading The Running Man here, and there's plenty of those in there too, especially with the names of the different TV programs, but that's for another video. I want to say that I liked interactions with the mobster Sal Magliore, if I'm pronouncing that. He goes to the mob guy because he wants to convince him to let him do bad things because he heard he was a mob guy. And the mob guy's like, no, get the hell out of here. I'm not doing anything for you. And they call each other names. It's a great exchange. It's a really cool scene in this book, and I'm not going to say too much about it because you got to go read it. But the guy ends up liking him because of their exchange. I like that. I wanted to mention something about the dialogue that goes through old Bart's head whenever he's obviously not being himself or thinking logically. He's having a conversation with Freddie and George. Hey, Freddie, did you hear that, George? You should do it, Freddie. Where are you, George? What do you say? It's kind of strange. But when I look back and I see how his middle name is George, and we know that this little play between characters used to be a thing that he did with his son, who is deceased. It leads me to believe that his son Charlie might actually be Fred. His middle name is what I'm trying to say. But that's a stretch, I guess. I don't think it ever really says that. I wanted to just mention that briefly. So this guy, obviously he's going to lose everything. He lets it happen. He says F you to the boss and F you to the job, and he quits the job before ever making a purchase. So he ends up screwing them all in the end, and he doesn't even really care about it. He just goes, he even attends the demolition and remains friends with one of the laborers. Then shortly thereafter, there goes the wife in the house. And the wife isn't going to want to keep going on with this dude. He can't keep any of his stuff together. He's throwing everything away right in front of her, and she's just watching him in disbelief. That's why I said there are some believable things about this story. There's my buddy right there. Now we go into some crazy things that happen. This dude meets a girl because he just drives around all day, wasting gas during a national gas shortage, right? The girl is young and just trying to go all the way to Las Vegas. And he doesn't try to proposition her, but he gives her a place to stay for the night. And some other things happen. That's why you have to read this part, because I'm not going to ruin it all, because this is a good book. She ends up giving him product for synthetic mescaline. What a great return favor for housing a hitchhiker for the night. So what is this guy going to do? That's a great part. And I think that's a very King scene too. I'm like, he's like, gotta do it, right? Someone gave you the drugs. Are you going to do it? I don't know. Probably in fantasy book land. But that was a very entertaining scene as well. I'm not going to say too much more about that because you got to check it out. Finally, this dude is so at wit's end. He's starting to take a stand. He fills his car up with bottles filled with gasoline and makes Molotov cocktails out of them. He goes and destroys a lot of very expensive construction equipment to prove a point. All I'm saying is this guy's having a bad day, and he's progressively boiling more and more till it's going to explode. And I think this one is worth the 5 stars that I'm giving it, even though it lacks in other kind of King paranormalisms and stuff. It's full of Kingisms. I'm saying this word like it's like in the dictionary. You'll know a Kingism when you see one, when you've read a number of his works, and you're like, oh yeah, that's the good stuff. That's what I'm here for. And this one definitely does have that. One last thing. I recently got the opportunity to see the movie Falling Down, which is, I believe, from like 93. And it has Michael Douglas in it. And my God, you can't tell me that wasn't, if not loosely based, very similar premise to what we're talking about here with Roadwork. This guy's just having a bad day, and it seems like the world's out to get him. And some things are different in that movie, but if you like Roadwork and haven't seen Fallen Down, I highly recommend it. Please let me know if you have read this book and liked it, or if you hated it so bad. I want to know why. What am I liking about it that is not likable? Please let me know. This is Steve the Beaver. This is little Edie Spaghetti. And we'll catch you on the next one.